Today's episode of Strong Links is brought to you by Dan and Van, Sleaford and the surrounding area's #1 man with a van service. And now for today's show.
Hello and welcome to Extra Strong Links, a bonus episode of the Strong Links podcast. So Dan, who are we talking to on this month's Extra Strong Links?
Well, Rich, on this episode we speak with a local artist called Patricia Mellett Brown. Shall you have a listen?
Patricia Mellett Brown, welcome to Extra Strong Links. You joined us on the last episode of Strong Links that dropped at the start of the month, and we chatted about your career as an artist and the impact it's had on the local community. Now, during that interview, you also spoke briefly about your inspiring story of sobriety. Do you think that times have changed to the point where people can speak more openly about these kind of things?
Oh, definitely. I think, from my own experience, it wasn't too long before I was shouting sobriety, I was through the roof. I let go of that shame very quickly because, alcohol is something that, it's all around us. I never realised what the impact it had on me and it has on people. So by letting it go, I think things are changing. I think people are more aware, especially younger people, of the effects of alcohol. And I have no shame whatsoever. I will shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's brilliant that we live in a world now, in a society now, where you can talk about these sort of subjects that were almost taboo. Not that long ago. And I think we're definitely moving things forward.
In the right
Quite
direction.
surprised how the younger generation don't drink that much these days.
Not like how we did.
No.
I mean, growing up around alcohol, I'm sure most of us did. And, my mum and dad, they weren't heavy drinkers, but they were party animals. We used to have lots of parties and they were fun, So I associated kind of drinking about being grown up and fun and happy, ta-da.
Yeah.
And I couldn't wait to start drinking, and it caused a lot of arguments within my family, which we joked about in the past. But but no, nowadays a lot of young people turn their nose up, which is great.
Yeah, it's different. It is different, certainly. Do you remember the moment that you first realised that your relationship with alcohol had to change? Yeah,
so, I mean, for quite a few years, to be fair, I was thinking, hang on a minute, this doesn't feel, this is wrong. Why, I'm having to obviously have a drink to do things. But I came across somebody quite by accident. Her name was Kate B, and she kind of she obviously, I joined her school, the sober school, and what drew me to her was a different way of looking at alcohol. So it wasn't about getting to the point where you're at rock bottom. It was that grey area, so the bit in between. I mean, there were times, trust me, I felt like I was slipping that way, and it was very scary. Morning drinking, that sort of thing. It was horrendous. So I wouldn't say pinpoint. I was always sober curious. Like, I couldn't understand, even in my 20s. So, for example, I had a friend and she was getting married and she didn't drink alcohol. She just didn't drink it. And I remember saying to her, but what are you going to do when we all toast, I mean, how ridiculous. It sounds so ridiculous now that I asked her that question. But, we do everything with alcohol, don't we? We weddings, funerals, just everything. And yet, yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting point. I still kind of experience this myself. If you're a non-drinker, the sort of emphasis is kind of on you to explain why you don't drink. and rather than the other way around,
Yeah.
it's like, well, why do you drink? Do you find that, Dan?
I do. I'm a non-drinker.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And you're right, Rich. It's you do have to almost justify why you want lemonade in your glass to toast. The New Year in or something. But it's all around us, and
all around us.
Yeah, it's the norm.
It's the norm. Yeah.
Just that sort of recreational drinking. But yeah, it is interesting when you actually think deeply about it.
Yeah.
Because you don't notice it really, that we're surrounded by it.
Yeah.
Do you think that people are predisposed to?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm a twin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my sister and I, we have completely different characters. We don't look anything like each other. We probably both drank in the same way as teenagers, for example. But her life was very different to mine. She had a family very young. But I don't think so. I really believe that drinking caused my agoraphobia. But back in the day, I mean, we're going back 40 years. I don't know that even then, I don't remember being asked, because I had a lot of therapy. I was assessed, and that's because I stopped going out. I was terrified. I was having panic attacks, and I'd never even heard that word before, panic attack, whereas it's used quite loosely, I'd say now. Agoraphobia, never heard that word, but that was my diagnosis.
Right.
But because of what's happened to me in the last 3 years, it just shrieks. Well, I think alcohol was causing it. So I don't know that I was predisposed. No, not at all.
Right.
I really don't know. No, and I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. I never, this, you might not want to do this, but I never took drugs. I was terrified of drugs. So, so it really was alcohol and ciggies, but I quit that now. So
So the two, agoraphobia and drinking, they sort of did this, I suppose. They made each other worse.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would step outside the door, if you like. I think I possibly was a very sensitive person, and I'd step outside the door, and it was just like I would just absorb everything, everything, and I was on high alert the whole time,
right.
When it was at its worst, and imagine yourself with a hangover. We all know what that is, anxiety. We all know it was like that all the time. I mean, that's alcohol, and by completely removing it, I just don't have those feelings, and I deal with things in such a different way and with clarity as well. Yeah.
Do you use any of those experiences or look back on them? Do they provide any kind of inspiration in your work? We talked about your creative writing that you do with Kai. Does it fuel any of that?
Yeah, 100%. So I don't know if you remember me talking about Louis, my little character Louis.
Yes.
So I've got a little dog character. He's called Louis, and
is Louis real?
No.
Louis not real. I didn't realise. I thought you had a dog.
Imaginary character, I should have said. So he is loosely based on me and my dog, Yesu. Yeah. So, and so aside from the paintings of the Out and About in Lincolnshire, I'm trying, I hopefully will be getting together a collection of illustrations of Louis, and he's, in a very doggy way, is going to tell my story. So I've already put pen to paper and done lots of illustrations. So I just need a little bit of time to be able to sit down and go, right, this is how it's going to be done. So that's what That's what I'm working on next. After
wow.
And it was quite interesting actually, because in the gallery, I wish I could tell you an example of at least one, but so I filled a whole room with sketches of Louis, and I wrote some poems to go next to them, and it was incredible how people related to them. And not just the illustrations, but to my little poems. And they were very simple. That's my style. Just going back to that. Very simple, but he was so relatable. And weirdly enough, by men. And right. You know, I don't know why that is, but there was one chap, he said, this is about mental health, isn't it? And I kind of don't know that I was really conscious about that, but yeah, absolutely. He's very joyous. That was the word everybody kept saying. I mean, I felt ridiculous putting Louis in to begin with, but Edward, that was running the gallery, he persuaded me, and I thought, this is just silly. But I did, and I said, okay, let's see if anybody engages with Louis, and a lot of people engaged with Louis.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So very, very proud of that.
So
hugely.
People got it sort of.
Yes. Yeah, and that astonished me.
Yeah.
Because you never really know what other people see, do you? So, you know, the fact that you've looked at my paintings and you really see community in them. Well, I never really felt that I was putting that into it. So, which is, well, I suppose the one of Sleaford I did. But no, so that's amazing. So, yeah.
Well, it really does sort of shine through. It does shine to through. Me. Yeah.
Do you find creativity is a therapeutic process for you? Do you find that?
Yeah, always. I've always done something creative my whole life, whether it's drawing, whatever. I was a picture frame, I was a woodworker, and anything where you're using your hands or your imagination is very therapeutic. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Do you have a favourite medium out of all those? Or?
I love working with oils, but I actually, I think I'm better. Watercolour, pencil, ink, a little bit of gouache. So yeah, that's what my paintings, the scenes and Louis, it's all watercolour and pen and ink. Yeah.
But you like oils.
I love oils. Yeah. I just, you know, and I look at people like Jack Vetriano or Edward Hopper, and I think, yeah, I'm going to get my easel out and paint like them. It doesn't happen. It never happens that way. But you know, yeah, it's really
quite
funny.
hard to paint in oils, isn't it? I
find it easy, but I do find them. No, I don't think it's hard.
Don't you?
I think you need to give it a go. I'm a bit tight, if you like. I'm not very loose. I always imagine that I'm going to be stood in front of a big, you know, canvas with a nice loose brush, but it doesn't happen. I end up with the little brushes and going into detail, but hey ho.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Do you still get moments of no, forget that one. Sorry.
Of anxiety or wanting to have a drink?
It was kind of along those lines. But
well, I will tell you a little story. Actually, okay. So on Saturday, I took the train. Now, the train has been a big issue for me.
Yeah.
And I've done lots of trips now. I still haven't managed my 7 minutes trip to Sleaford from Heckington on my own, but I will do it one day. But I took the train to Birmingham to actually meet Kate B of the Sober School, because she was celebrating 10 years. It was like meeting my idol, you can imagine. So I went with a friend, and I have to say, I didn't like it that much, but I did it. And a couple of things happened on the train. And so before I would have got on that train while I'd been drinking, I would be thinking, oh my God, what if this happens? What if that happens? Boom, 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 boom. You know, ridiculous things, irrational things, you know, and I would always have popped a can of something in my coat pocket, you know. And suddenly we're in a tunnel, and I'd forgotten that I was frightened of tunnels. And I sat there and I thought, oh my God, okay, it's okay. It's fine. And I was fine.
Wow.
And then another thing, suddenly the train filled up with guys Saturday morning with their beer cans and all that. I wasn't triggered, by the way. I never get triggered to drink alcohol, but it was crowded.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, okay, so I just did what I've learnt to do, and it's redirecting my thoughts. So your thoughts create your feelings.
Yep.
And do you know what? By the time I got there, I was absolutely fine. So as much as it started to rise, I could feel my hands. I distracted myself. I think I grabbed my lipstick or something, and I really focused on what my friend was saying to me, and I didn't look at them. It was absolutely fine.
Wow.
And so I will do that again. I will get on that train again. Is
that something you've taught yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is actually, it makes sense, you know, now to me. It didn't before, but yeah, so that's what I did. And I will go to Birmingham again.
Yeah.
And the things like the big buildings, I mean, that would have, I can't stress how much that would have just simply have frightened me. You know, and I was stood there, I was on the river bit, and I was looking up, and it's every now and then I have, well, in fact almost daily, but real incredible wow moments. I'm looking up at this big silver building with lots of windows, and I'm not scared. It's incredible.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
I can relate a little bit to what you're saying, because I have an intense fear of flying. I used to live in Africa as a child, and I used to fly a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm really, really scared of flying now. And I've been on various courses, and I think you're right. It's, you can train your mind to, because you blow things up in your mind, don't you?
Completely.
And it's always worse in your mind than reality. Generally.
Yeah. You see, I mean, I don't know whether I'll ever fly again, but I can look at a scene on an aeroplane, on a movie now. I couldn't even do that before. You know, I was that scared. Yeah. But yeah, so I completely understand. I'm and empathise. Do you have any fears?
I do have one, actually. Yeah, I got a very kind of specific one. It's sort of kind of little kind of hypochondrial.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I just sort of no stranger to anxieties, and you're talking about sort of crowds and that, and that resonates a lot with me. There was an event I went to recently, and it was just this kind of very dense amount of people, and I kind of wanted to go there, and I totally noped out. I thought, no, couldn't handle that. But I did see on Facebook that you mentioned about the train trip.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I saw that the other day, and it did cross my mind. Then I thought, well, I hope she's, it's not going to be too traumatic talking to me and Dad today.
No,
not at all.
It's quite a big subject, because we're certainly not experts on this subject, but it was just really to have a conversation about it and not really be too scared of talking about it. Yeah. Which for me and Rich, we feel the responsibility of talking about this subject. It's quite a big responsibility, and so we do it. We want to do it in the right way, and but we appreciate you being so open about it, and it's by having conversations like this that I didn't really know about your sort of fear of crowds, and it's good that we can talk about these things.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to invite you to come watch a football match, but I won't bother now.
I don't know that. Oh, I don't actually. I will never go to a football match. So I thought you liked football. You don't.
I do, yeah. But I'm fine watching it on TV, really. No, I don't. Yeah, I can go to football matches. Yeah. But yeah,
I worked at Stamford Bridge once.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Wow.
It was the most horrendous experience of my whole life.
Yeah.
And it was just before I was diagnosed. Oh. No, and yeah, of course.
What were you doing there? What was your...
Making the biggest burgers you've ever seen in your life. They were this big, like plates.
Yeah.
And at one point, my friend who persuaded me to work with her for a day, said, "Oh, come outside and have a look at the stadium before all the crowds arrive." I was like this.
Oh, really?
I couldn't look at the stadium. And then when we left, she said, "Right, okay, we'll go before everybody else." And then all I remember was just these football supporters, Chelsea, just coming out, just fighting each other.
Oh, really? God.
Oh, it was an agoraphobic's nightmare.
Yeah.
But I can laugh about it now because it was a long time ago.
Yeah. It's,
and stadiums have changed now because they're all seating. So, So, I would find them more comfortable in knowing that you have your own kind of specific space rather than, years before where it was just
you just crammed in there.
Terraces.
You've just reminded me of something. If I just quickly
go for it, please.
How funny is this? I've just realised one of the things that I did for years and years, and I've just realised I don't do it anymore. Oh my God, I didn't do it here. Fire exits. How do I get out? That's the first thing I would do when I walk into anywhere. Right, how do I get out? And I haven't done that here, and I don't think I've done that for a while.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't do that at the party. That's amazing. Yeah, so there you go.
So you'll go into somewhere and you're sussing out where
so I can get out quickly. Yeah, that's incredible.
You've made great progress.
That's a common thing with introverts, actually, is
it
knowing the way out?
Way out.
Knowing
Oh, really?
Escape route.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
If someone's listening that is sober curious, but scared to take that first step, what would you say to them? What would you?
I would absolutely. It's not. I would try and look for help. Or get sober curious. Have a look at Kate B's website, the Sober School. Absolutely 100%, because just start looking into it. There's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And I think that does hold people back. And I think one knows when one might be drinking too much. If you can't go out on a Friday night or something, then so absolutely.
Okay.
Be sober curious.
Yeah. Well, Patricia, thank you so much for being on Extra Strong Links.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been amazing.
Brilliant. Before you go, where can people find you?
My website, patriciamellettbrown.com. 2 L's, 2 T's.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you. Yeah, it's lovely to meet you both, actually.
It's lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Today's episode of Strong Links was brought to you by Danson Property Services, where quality work meets local care. From reliable maintenance jobs to property refurbs, call Danson Property Services today. See you next time.